The Indiana Pacers won a basketball game. It is a miracle. It almost didn't end that way. After a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter, the Pacers let the Celtics come storming back, but they still win in overtime, defeat the defending champion Boston Celtics by a final score of 135-132. Pascal Siakam and Bennedict Mathurin lead the way with big performances. We'll get to them later. The Pacers really dominated this game for about 36 minutes and then just survived every possible thing going wrong. Kind of a similar story to the Eastern Conference Finals games, just even worse because the lead was even bigger than they had in any of those games where they just couldn't quite finish. But they did manage to get it done in the end. Most important thing at this point in the season with how they've struggled, they got a win. Now 2-3 on the season. They held the Celtics to just 40.4% shooting overall. They won the rebounding battle 57-51. Rick Carlisle brought up that they worked on in their shoot around before the game. That was one of the things that they did, which is not something an NBA team will typically do in their kind of shoot around atmosphere, but they were doing rebounds and loose ball drills, and it worked. Injury-wise, Miles Turner missed this game with an ankle injury, and Andrew Nembhard left early after just 5 minutes. He's dealing with some knee tendonitis, which no one was aware of until just before the game. Rick Carlisle found out and then almost pulled him, but kept him in the game for just a little while and then said he just didn't look right, so they kept him out for the remainder of the game. Let's get to the grades. Benny B. Baking. Wow. That was an incredible performance from Bennedict Mathurin. 30 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. He did have 4 turnovers, 9 for 17 from the floor. He was +3 in his 43 minutes. More minutes than he played in the last couple games combined. He kind of was able to play through some mistakes, which has kind of been rare during his time with the Pacers. The Pacers being a little bit shorthanded with Nembhard being out may have allowed Carlisle to give him a longer leash than normal. I did not think he started this game off perfectly, but he was able to play through some mistakes, really started to find a rhythm in the second quarter, and just exploded with his offense in the third. Pull-up three-pointers in front of Derek White and Jason Tatum, spin move drives in the lane to finish in the paint, just constantly attacking the rim, drawing fouls. He had nearly half of the Pacers' free throw attempts with 11 of their 24, and just invaluable for this team when they struggled to get to the free throw line a lot, especially against the Celtics team. They could never seem to do it in the playoffs last year. Just really showed what he could have added to that series in this one, and it was just great to see him be able to kind of make some mistakes on defense but still be able to stay in the game and figure it out, gain a rhythm the longer he's in the game. Just tremendous star level stuff from Bennedict Mathurin. He continues to make kind of the right read more and more often when he needs to pass the ball. Those 4 assists show that. It found Pascal for 1 with a 3. Had a couple more passes where he hit a cutter, but they didn't quite hit the layup where he could have had a couple more. The 11 rebounds, phenomenal stuff. I really think his ability on the glass could help this team that struggles with rebounding, but he has to be kind of more disciplined with when he attacks the offensive glass, especially during that run. He did have a play where he crashed the glass from the top of the key after Haliburton missed a 3 and just made it real easy for Tatum to get out in transition. He did have a turnover in that run where the Celtics are just getting everything that they want, where Brown caused a steal. Could have been a foul, but you know how that goes. Just really awesome stuff from Ben. ICP, Pascal Siakam with an A, 29 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, only 2 turnovers. He was 11 for 20 overall, 6 for 8 from the three-point line, +5 in his 38 minutes. He hit the game winner with 6.1 seconds left. He also tied the game in overtime with his little fadeaway just inside the free throw line over Jaylen Brown. His three-point shooting was just incredibly impressive tonight. Even though he missed some kind of mid-range short attempts near the free throw line that he usually makes, his three-point shooting more than made up for it. They don't win this game without him being that hot from three. His defense, I think, has continued to trend in a positive direction compared to last year. We've talked a lot about the NBA's physicality, feeling like it's a lot of inconsistency, but I would say the one Pacer who's been able to play more physical on the defensive end has been Pascal for the most part. And his 11 rebounds in this game were a season high. 5 of those came on the defensive end, including his first bucket of the night came on a missed three-pointer that he grabbed and quickly just put up and scored. Just continues to be the most consistent Pacer so far this season. He's been their best player to this point in the year. Just awesome stuff from Pascal. Tyrese Haliburton, I gave a B+ in this game. 17 points, 12 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, just 1 turnover. His inefficiency is continuing right now. He's 7 for 19 from the floor, 2 for 10 from 3, but he was +9 in his 40 minutes. I think he's really starting to find himself even without the shot. The hit-ahead passes, kicking it ahead quickly. The pace is back. Carlisle mentioned kind of him getting off the ball earlier is kind of getting the pace going for the team and him getting into more rhythm. Still, even though he's not making shots, he's staying aggressive during this slump. He didn't make a shot at all in this game until 3.1 seconds were left in the first half. So all of his 17 points really came basically in the last 24 minutes plus overtime, except for 1 point from a technical free throw in the first quarter, I think. He had a big three-pointer to start overtime, and he hit a clutch shot just before that in regulation to put the Pacers up 3, and then the Celtics quickly tied it. But really good stuff from Tyrese in this game. Good to see those assist numbers perk back up, him having the ball more. Maybe that has something to do with Nembhard only playing 5 minutes, but it does seem like the pace is back for this team. They're moving it much quicker, and he's at the head of that whole snake. I think his defense has continued to get better, and he's battling a lot more on that end. He's not going to be a great defender, but he's giving way more effort, I think, on that end, dealing with a lot of switches to Jason Tatum and doing the best he can to get a stop or just make it as difficult as possible. Don't get me started on Tatum's screening where he'll hold the guy that he wants to get switched on him, kind of move just enough to make the switch have to happen, that I think they called once in the first half and never again. But awesome stuff from Tyrese. Even as the shot hasn't come, I think we're seeing encouraging signs that he's in for a breakout soon. Isaiah Jackson getting his first start of the season, I gave a B+. His energy and quick jumping ability were phenomenal in this entire game. 10 points, 5 rebounds, a couple blocks, a couple steals, 1 turnover. I think importantly, he made all 4 of his free throws. Just as a team overall, the Pacers actually made the free throws in this game, and if they stayed at that like 67% that they've been at the last couple, they probably lose this one too. So good to see, especially from Ajax. +8 in his 25 minutes. He had one play where Mathurin tried to throw him a lob, and it was not a good decision to pass, but Ajax got up so quickly that he still was able to tap the ball towards the rim and get it over Cornet. And then he was so quick off his feet that he quickly just grabbed the ball again and scored. Very active on the defensive end. A lot of his blocks and steals just led to quick transition points for the Pacers. The only thing keeping him from an A in this game is just the foul trouble. He fouled out in the fourth, wasn't able to stay on the floor, I think, as much as the Pacers would like, especially when he's the only center that is healthy on the roster right now. They were having some trouble rebounding against Nehemiah Skata, who came in fresh in the fourth quarter, and I think ended up with 9 rebounds, only playing the fourth in overtime. They could have used a little bit more time for my Jacks to kind of deal with those struggles they were having at the end of the game. Ben Sheppard never quits. We'll call him the team's hustle prince, because TJ McConnell has to be the hustle king for this team. Gave him a B+ in this game, 7.6 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, a block, a turnover, 3 for 6 from the floor, and he was -3 in his 21 minutes. He just makes good things happen. He's always defending with his best effort, always in the right places. Grabbed the most important rebound of the game, and then won a jump ball that never should have been a jump ball. Got hacked a little bit, and Carlisle was trying to call a timeout the entire time. Didn't matter. Pacers got the ball anyway. He won the jump ball, tipped it to Pascal Siakam, and the Pacers were able to finish this one. He's not shying away from open looks like he did as times as a rookie. The 1-3 that he hit in this game, he could have swung it to the next guy, but he just rose up and took it with confidence and nailed it. Just really good, really encouraging stuff from Ben Sheppard, who it just seems like it's going to be harder and harder to keep off the floor. He's been the Pacers' 11th guy most nights to come off the bench, but he's still ended up in every game so far this season just because he's so valuable with how much energy he adds on the floor. Aaron Nesmith with a revenge game against his Celtics with a B, 12 points, 8 rebounds, a big number for Nesmith, 3 assists, 1 block, and a turnover, 5 for 9 from the floor, 2 for 4 from 3. He was +10 in 30 minutes. Defended as well as you could hope for, trying to deal with Tatum and Brown, but he did foul out. That kind of brings his grade down a bit. He had some tough finishes at the rim, either from drives from the perimeter, off well-timed cuts, and in transition. He had a couple big three-pointers in this game, one in the fourth quarter where the Celtics were making their ginormous run, and the Pacers just couldn't get anything going. He had a three just kind of pulled up right over Keita, who had switched onto him in a big moment. And then he also made another three in the first half, which was off a corner shot from a baseline out of bounds play, where he's kind of falling away into the Pacers bench and nailed it. Just a good game from Nesmith, solid stuff. So foul trouble has been a problem so far this year. TJ McConnell, are you not entertained? I do not have a ton to add about TJ in this game. 10 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 steal, a turnover. He was 5 for 11 from the floor. Missed his only 3, which was an air ball, and he was -7 in his 22 minutes. He did what he does. He scored some nice layups, forced a timeout on one of them, gave the crowd the "Are you not entertained" pose. Continues to be a valuable asset as a backup point guard. Obi Toppin, I gave a C+ in this game. He did score 18 points with 7 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, a block, a couple turnovers. 6 for 15 from the floor, 2 for 7 from 3. A little less efficient than you would like to see from Toppin. Pacers were -12 in his 33 minutes. I played a lot of backup 5 in this game with Miles Turner out and Jackson often in foul trouble. Missed a lot of three-pointers from the same corner in the fourth quarter and overtime, all from the same spot. The reason his grade comes down as much as because of that and a really bad inbounds pass turnover with less than 2 minutes in the game, where the Celtics were able to cut the lead from 9 to 5 after they scored, and then Obi passed it in and Derek White was able to steal it and quickly put it in. It's really bad turnover in that moment. He did have plenty of good moments in this game, obviously, with his 18 points. He had a really nice finish inside with an impressive little double clutch dunk where he kind of avoided the defender and quickly got his arms back up to finish. Solid stuff from Obi. A bit of a rough one from Jarace Walker. 0 points, 1 rebound, 2 steals, 4 turnovers. I'll give him a C- in this game. The 2 steals were from a very just crazy sequence, both in the same play basically, where he stole the ball from Tatum, grabbed the ball on the floor, tried to give it to Obi Toppin, but the ball kind of got kicked around. The Celtics got it, and then the ball ends up in Jaylen Brown's hands, and Jarace Walker's on him at the top of the key, and he's able to poke the ball away from him as well. Leads to Nesmith getting the ball, and then the Pacers get a transition Haliburton layup from the play. Really showed how quick his hands are on defense, getting a steal from both of the Celtics' best players basically on the same possession. He did have a couple bad turnovers in this game among his four. One was a careless pass that kind of hit Toppin in the head in the backcourt where he's trying to pass it to Mathurin to bring the ball up. And he had another where he kind of made up his mind way too fast and in transition got called for a charge on Sam Hauser. Just kind of bowled him over. And he could have got off the ball much earlier and given it to a point guard to start running something. Yeah, only 8 minutes for Jarace. He kind of filled in, had some not too bad possessions against Tatum, some valuable experience against trying to defend some of these guys. Yeah. Not a ton to say about Andrew Nembhard in this game. I just gave him an incomplete. He only played for those 5 minutes before coming out with his knee tendonitis. 2 points, an assist, a steal, a turnover. He did steal the opening tip and scored very quickly. Those were his 2 points came from. Hopefully it's nothing serious and he's able to get that knee right and get back onto the floor. It was encouraging to at least see the Pacers fill in for his absence with a good performance from Bennedict.